No, Larry.
All right. Call this meeting of the Historic District Commission in order at 7:01 p.m. And I'll see Goodrich as a full member. I'll make a motion to waive the hearing procedures.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. If anyone would like to read the hearing procedures, they're over there on the yellow sheet. Scott, would you read the code? Sure. You could sign in the.
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, April 4th, 2023 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HCC 23-13, 159 High Street, Frederick and Ann Gleason, owner applicant, solar panels, paint and trim, pin number 2619183-11285. HCC 23-14, 52 Pearl Street, High Street, 52 Pearl Street, High Street. Steve Young, owner applicant, siding, windows, trim and decking, pin number 2619144-24737. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 28th day of March 2023 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to remind you to go to one continuation from last meeting.
So I'm gonna make a motion to add HDC 23-12, 36 Pearl Street to the public hearing portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carry. So I'll call HDC 23-12, this is 36 Pearl Street, advanced group.
And that's the original printer, so only got 5 copies.
But keep one for yourself, that's fine.
Good.
But you're gonna have to show it on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. We are endeavoring to replace 36 windows at 36 Pearl Street. Marvin. Elevate. Stimulated by like similar to similar since.
What are you doing on the bay window?
Saying it's just that they're very narrow.
So you're not replacing them?
We are replacing.
Okay.
You're replacing all the windows.
36, there were some that were replaced years ago. But not.
It says it, but simulated by the light with the grills between or space first. Between the glass, yeah. Well, it's not between the glass, it's on the wall.
It's exterior and it's still in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions?
This
Want
is
to show
total- this
anything
is
on
the total 36.
Would you mind showing all the exhibits on the camera just so it's recorded for the public, please? Maybe walk us through them. Everyone knows they are be watching.
Jason. There were some in the back in the kitchen area that were narrow before. We are adding one of the questions, that's right. adding. In this area here. On this wall, like here. With one of the, which are recorded. I think over the years, one was infill. We're adding a second to mirror these two. This wall, the one, this blank space right here, you see, will be the second one is like that, you know.
Can you show us that
Where
from
is
the
it?
outside?
Behind the bushes. I may have that call. Yes, I can find it.
I think it needs to be in the application.
And you have to redo the application because it says remove and replace, it doesn't say add.
For what it's worth, you should also highlight what windows you're actually replacing.
Right?
And you could just rewrite, added here and initial and dated in the application.
All right.
No other exterior changes besides the windows, we also look the same. No trim being replaced or anything.
No.
You want to just select the view it. Or just hand those.
Make a motion to continue this application.
Second,
This was all CLX.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just add that you're adding and show pictures of what you're at, where you're adding it to, and then. other ones or in mark
And then get in behind the trees, maybe.
I can do that, yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, HCC 23-12 is continued. HCC 23-13, this is 159 High Street. Hi, how are you?
Good evening.
You just have to state your name.
Frederick Gleason, we're at 159 high. Okay, so, this is the contact is the solar panel. And we're at High Street right here. Which is High Street here and Bar Street here. This is facing south. And we're a little closer in. We have some good neighbors in the area. And this is the building, of course. And south being this way, the north the panel is facing east, south and west. And this is probably the plan that you interested in. There are 10 panels on the east. It's 7. With nine panels facing south around the chimney, another 10 facing west, and then 4 on the wing, and 2 facing west. And you guys all see that? Yep. Now,
I'm gonna flip that around.
Turn it this way.
Turn it.
oh, sorry. It's upside down. Okay, I got you. So, we, some years ago, about 24 years ago, we put in new electric service to the building. And we paid to run it underground in the pole across the street. And we brought it into what we call the plant room, which is this area of the basement. The panels were all new, applied to solar. We saw that Eversource wants all of the service outside. So I went through a lot of hoops to try and get an answer, and I was told no. And you can't keep the service, which of course is good. We then applied And, two other things, I got from Cura, I got a letter back saying how we replied, so we replied. And then we got approval from them. And, the documentation, that we approval for the installation. And,
The installation of the panels, the installation of the new service.
of the new, no, installation of the services, we have shown it. And I neglected to say, we showed the production panel on the outside and the production meter. As this drawing showed it, and we showed the existing service on the inside. And they gave us approval. And given that, we'll proceed. So we're proceeding with the way they approved it.
I'm confused, approved the inside or the outside?
Well, they approved the plan that showed our electric service, our main electric service on the inside. Our plan showed it on the inside. We
When you
showed-
talk about your service, are you talking about your circuit breaker panel? You talking about
I'm
the
talking
service
about-
entrance or the meter, or what are you talking?
I'm talking about the meter and the break. Main.
So whether the meter was inside in your house?
Yes. We paid to do that. We got approval from CL and Peter. Kansas name the Eversource. We dug up the original documentation and saying it was. But at any rate, so I believe we have approval now to just have these two meters on the inside. And we're proceeding on that.
Well, there are plenty of services that are inside the building. Most of them are.
Agreed.
Plenty of meters. inside the buildings.
Yes.
You just want to leave.
Yeah, I always do what you want. You got it in the second hand.
Well, that would be nice if that's what they told me, what, the local service then. So at any rate, move on, I'm hopeful we won't run into trouble. This is, that's upsetting. This is, showing where the meters will be.
Meters or meter?
They're 12 cubic the meter, and the solar production meter and the distance. And then for a little context, this is Borough Street, just to the west of it. This is from 6 Borough down the High Street, and this is the house. West facing side. This is our neighbor across the Borough Street 7. We're looking at the hill. That's out of order. This is 147 high, also on Borough Street. And Neil's Plain Sound.
And you're putting this out, right?
Showing the neighborhood.
Yeah, give us the public views from all the different neighbors.
Okay, it's not a view of this house, it's just.
That's his house right there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you context so you can see, well, I'll go back to the one that. The solar panels would be. Two there. Fairly visible. And then. 10 up in that area.
What is that, a hip roof?
It's a hip roof.
Yeah.
And the house is pretty high, so. The pitch is only 18 degrees, so. You really don't. You can see a whole lot. This is the.
That's facing north.
North, yeah, this is the north side. And this is the south side where we'll have some panels. As far as the east side. where we'll have 10 panels up on the roof.
Any conduits or anything?
Yes, I have a picture of that. And we tried to find a location that wasn't really visible from public way. This is the south side, and there will be.
That's from the north facing south.
That's the north. Excuse me. Yeah. Thanks.
It's only because Bill lives on Borough.
It's not like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think he's geographically in that channel.
And here's Neil's point. No, this is that's across the street from east facing front. And to answer the question about the conduit, this is on the back. This is west facing, and this is north facing. And we're going to come through the tablature here, do a little jog and come down along the trim. And we got, thank you for the approval for the heat pumps. But I'm going to build trenches and have it approved by the inspector. And we've got conduit in those trenches for this solar, so it won't be there, but you won't see it from the public way. See that in too much.
I'm good. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question that has nothing to do with that? So how much of the electricity do you expect all these panels to produce in terms of your actual need, personal need? I mean, I know what this price need, but.
Yes, well, I've been trying to figure that out. But with the heat pumps, you're going to use about 3,000 kilowatt hours. So I've sort of forgotten, but we're going to be shooting. We hope to produce 91% of our needs, and it's a 14.2 kW array. I was surprised that it was, they call it good solar access because there's no trees around, but we do have a 10-foot cupola in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And so I just assumed it would be a no-go. But they did the calculations and have now to show that it.
You have any description of the actual panels?
It's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't copy all the.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
But I'm sorry, I didn't do the application form. It should be. Should I stay for the end of the meeting?
If you want to.
Are there any, is the decision part public or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen is we're gonna go through the pre-apps and other ones like yours. And then we'll go through all those and then vote on them. And after we vote on yours, you're free to stay and listen or free to exit.
Not the preamps, you have to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Does anyone in the audience have any comments or supporting statements? Do you have anything against the application? All right, HTC 23-13 is closed. Yes. HTC 23-14 is 52 Pearl Street. Where Mrs. Young.
Thanks for having me. My name is Stephen Young and we own 52 Pearl Street. We, me and my wife Caroline, and I. So this, our home was built in 1852 and it's currently stucco. That gray stucco's been there for about, since we've owned the home in 13 years, and it was a decade or two in existence prior to that. There's also a sunroom on the back of the house that would predated us purchasing it. I believe that was in the 80s. Otherwise, it's a very simple square footprint, the house is. And so upon just talking with neighbors and locals, a neighbor of ours mentioned that there was a model of our home at the diagram over at the seaport. So I was very curious about that and went to see it. And the diorama is shown here. And interestingly, it has a relatively flat roof on it, which now it's a head roof. And evidence of that I've seen by doing work over there. As you can see, this additional framing over the flat roof. There's now an existing attic level on that, and you can see the board and batten, what appeared to be board and batten on the model. This is our front door without a front porch. Again, this is based on the diorama. Full model here. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And all of these, so for example, this is our home here. Our neighbors, their home, which is not historic and built in 1998, they live right here. So this home here is 56 Pearl Street. That home was waterfront. And the party that we bought our home from created an additional lot to create that 54 Pearl Street, which is right here again, built in 1998. So
Is that Pearl Street I'm looking at
this is
right?
Pearl Street right here. This is our front door. That same front door is there today. There is a roof on the front of it, a covered porch, I should say, which I'll show you in a minute. But also upon doing work a couple of times, I didn't think to photograph it. This is relatively recent. In the last couple months, I can see scars and you see the existing siding. So this line here is the old rear facade. This room here, let me get my bearing here. This room here is the sunroom. So it makes sense that this is the old rear facade, and I can see physical evidence of that board and batten. We always liked that the home was stucco because it was a good, waypoint. People say, "Oh, the stucco house." Okay, sure, we know where it is. So we liked that it was just not the traditional orange clapboard that we see all up and down our street. So we're excited to bring it back to its, pending the blessing of this board, but we're excited to bring it back to what it was, and it'll be relatively unique, certainly historically precedented. And our plan is to paint it an off-white color. So that's the siding portion of it.
So you're gonna remove the stuff that they're planning
We
to
are going
remove
to
this
take
stuff.
the stuff off.
I thought you said you were excited to have this stuff.
We were into.
Now you're excited to have a board and batten.
We were.
You're gonna make up your mind.
Thanks, Mr. Brady. It's the stucco is it's very brittle. It's had hairline cracks and it's tough for being very close to water. So wind driven rain stuff. We're trying to improve the side and the books.
So is it your understanding that if you take the stucco off, that the battens are gone?
It's still correct. The board and batten are still there on that entire home. With a million nail holes in it to hold up the wire lap that was holding up the stucco, but that is there, yes.
But the battens are gone?
The battens are gone. Yeah, what you see here is very representative of what you see when you pull off. So the evidence is still there. That is, in fact, in part, that's the sheet that those boards are run vertically, and on my house is not, the exterior walls are not traditionally framed. It's a post and beam house due to age, very old. So you can still see the vertical board, the backside of these vertical boards are the sheathing to the home. So it's still all there. It's absolutely not salvageable. It probably has tens of thousands of nail holes in it, but that will serve as a sheathing for the new board and batten to go on again, and plus and for.
So your plan is to strip the stucco off, remove the wire mesh, and then put new vertical boards up over top of the old boards.
Correct, there's some
Put bat-
waterproofing in
put
there,
battens on that.
correct, yeah. That, I'm happy to answer additional questions about that, but I'd love to make a comment or two on the windows. I heard to see this zoomed up, I did bring an additional photo, which was not part of the application, which will help. This will really help on the overhead. So at the bottom here, you see very appropriate to this era, a house, you see a 2-inch historic sill profile. This is whatever the width of this board is from say here to there, I've replicated it on this application, I believe it's 5 inches. You'll see an additional band here. That band is there because of what you just asked. They put the stuff, they never removed that old sheeting, they just put the stucco and made the skin of the building thicker. This band is there because the stucco is essentially flush with it. And it would then protrude past the casing of the window. Here's a great detail of it here. So this, in my professional opinion, is the original casing. This is the original sill. They added this so that they could then slop on the stucco.
Because the stucco was proud of it.
Correct. So in my application contemplates this and shows a more simple design without that band around it on the casing. It's essentially a 5 border by 5 without this band. It's 2-inch historic sill. That's I just want to mention.
So are you gonna remove the old casing
I'm going to replace the old
and the
casing.
old and the sill?
Correct, and replace them dimensionally exact.
These just new construction windows?
These are new construction windows. Yeah, they're modern and they're simulated divided light. They are, and I reverse engineered the sizing because it's a post and beam home. The shim space that the window fits into is abnormally large, so I took the sizes of the windows was sort of reverse engineered, but the sizing of the windows to be ordered and that are on here is the size of the existing sash. So the same amount of window that was on there today, because I had room up and down. Normal shim space is 3/4 of an inch. This has 3 or 4 inches where the old pockets were, and there's a lot of space. So this is the dimension that ruled the size of the sash.
Because you're removing the stucco, that face of the house is actually going backwards.
So
So
correct,
you won't need that, what you call trim around the
Correct.
frame.
correct.
You're putting on all new boarding pattern.
I am. Yeah,
So we fill in fine.
yeah, that's all I'm fine. My plan is to treat the old boards as the sheeting. I would put a blue skin waterproofing membrane on that and to put the vertical board and batten actually onto it.
So just, I'm for some reason, your plan is to remove all the stucco,
Yes,
remove all the trim around the windows, including the sills. You're gonna build all new sills.
I am. yeah,
And basically, you're gonna reface the entire house.
correct.
Just the lower half.
No, the entire home,
The whole.
yeah,
To replace all of them.
correct. It's all indicated properly on the application. But the front door and sidelights will remain the same. Those will be restored. The rear facade, sorry, the side facade, there's a historic here too. This is viewable from 50 Pearl. This is viewable from the street, but sunroom is not, but this door will be restored and maintained as well.
Replacing top windows on the attic.
Correct, yeah,
Is that stucco too?
it's not, that's like a shiplap, like a 4-inch, not clapboard, but it's like a flush sign.
Like a flush tongue group with a heart.
Yeah,
on
it's
it,
a
the heart,
yeah, hard, yeah. It's tongue
like a
group.
gable end of a Greek organ.
Right, yeah. It almost looks slim. You almost can't see the joints.
What are you gonna do with that?
I'd probably, my plan is to replace that. I've replaced like for like over the years. That is, the trim is very rotted and the windows are very rotted, but the siding on those dormers is,
You're gonna leave that.
I'm gonna leave that and, but this opens up to the sunroom portion. I plan on putting 5-inch, 5-inch nickel gap shiplap on there. On the very rear 1-story portion.
And what is that current siding on there?
That is also stuck up.
That is,
It, that you can,
Can't see that.
you can't see it. It's minimally, and I have photos.
so, but when you say shiplap, it's not really shiplap, it's just tongue and groove. Square edge.
With a butt joint.
But,
Yeah, so look, all you see is the hairline back.
Yeah, right.
But this is not visible to do. It's not visible from girls.
those shingles, what's the shingle detail up there?
This has been, this is this old shingle is very odd. Wrapped the fascia, never seen. So we pulled a permit to replace the roof and underneath there was an old pine fascia that we replaced with AZAC. So right now that's a normal white board with a normal drip cap. There are no gutters on it.
So they just bent the shingles over.
The actual, it was like a, I don't want to say the Dutch, but it was, the carpentry was actually rounded to the,
Not to snap the shingle.
I think that's it, because in this photo, the fascia was shingle.
I don't have any problem with what you're proposing to do. My only issue is that you still have the outstanding issue with the driveway. And I don't think it's right to vote on the application when you still have an outstanding violation.
I was under the understanding that we had 5 years from that.
So that's where the it becomes tricky. You went from A to B without approval.
What is that?
You went from your original
Correct.
to something you modified without approval. We never approved. You got approval for C, step C. So you have 5 years to go to step C, but you need to either take what you currently have and go back to the way it was or complete the driveway.
And is that, are those timelines listed in the next?
There are no timelines, you just have to go back.
But I have an approval now.
To go to
I have a,
right, to go to the thing that you haven't done yet. So you can either fix it or you're gonna be found in violation for making the change to B that you could have approved.
okay, I'm happy to. Our plan is to modify the driveway relative to the approval at the holding. I'm happy to do that along with this work.
Sure, why don't you just do the driveway and then we can vote over.
I'm not sure that approving this work, that doing the other work should be a condition precedent with making changes to the house. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're trying to assure that what you did without approval gets changed back and you're not parlay that out into 5 years.
I think it's great.
But I don't think you can deny his approval for this application because he hasn't done.
I have the same feeling as Eric, though, frankly. I don't think we should approve more work when there's work in violation. I don't
I
think
don't
it's right.
think, I don't think that we have any ability to impose those kinds of rules.
Well, then I say we continue and get the town attorney to give us an opinion. You don't think we can do that?
I just think you should fix the driveway. We worked on a solution.
I'm here with the net to fix the driveway at the time of this. Before this was, I'm happy to fix it.
Right, we worked with you on trying to come up with a solution that's not repaired, that's made. You're now gonna do this work. I don't feel right about it.
Well,
And
we could make approval of this contingent upon the driveway work being done.
Big and maybe contingent upon no building permit to be issued until.
I'm fine with that.
Right, but I think we're overstepping our rights here.
Well, yeah, I think you probably better get advice from the town attorney.
And I just don't.
I think you could
hear what
probably
you're
do
saying,
it.
but I don't think you can connect those. I think
It's
they're
not a-
distinct.
It's not a violation. For holding it as an approval.
You
Check
don't,
with the town.
you have an approval though for the work that has not been completed. You have no approval.
Doesn't every applicant have a pre? Here's my question. So if an applicant comes in, he gets an approval to add something to it, and they then 2 months later not pull a permit to complete to replace the roof because they haven't completed that work yet.
I think that's
We keep
apples
talking-
and oranges.
If you're, we keep talking about how I didn't ask for a permit to change the garden. For me, that was, in my humble opinion, that was a landscape. I did enough, and I did everything I went through. A lot of meetings, I sat at the very chair, and I'm going to do the right thing. But I give you my word. I mean, this is, I've been planning this for a long time. This is a substantial amount of work that I would like to do at the same time as this, as the modification, which this board proposed and approved to the project. I don't think that it's a separate application. I think the proper thing to do, in my honest opinion, would be to judge this application on its merits. It's about siding and windows. No mention of the driveway in the application. There's no violation.
I don't personally have any problem with what you're trying to do. I didn't have a
Everyone
lot.
vote on.
I would like to have, I mean, I think that in light of the fact of the complaints from the neighbors and everything else, and the fact that it still is non-compliant. So you made a change to the drive. You have an approval for a different design that has not been changed. You say you're gonna do it, but you haven't done it. So as the driveway sits currently today, it's not conforming, and it's a violation. It could be fined, or it's a violation. As it stands today, it's not approved.
Into the violation.
I think that's a town attorney question, in all fairness.
But it is, there's no. approval for
You have
the
an
drive-
approval to fix it, but you haven't done the, so I mean, I tend to see his point of view. Before you were allowed to do anything else, and you brought that into compliance. Prior to the issuance of the permit, I kind of see.
Or
the
return
philosophy.
it to the way it was. prior.
Right.
One of the.
Because it was a violation to begin with. It wasn't, because if in you're taking the situation of somebody who goes for an application for something to get approval, but they didn't do a violation to begin with.
Okay, so,
Right.
so
If you just fix the driveway, you came back in 2 weeks, you applied for us, we could vote on it.
it will be a lot longer to secure a driveway and landscaping for on the spring and this 2 weeks.
Bring it from Massachusetts.
I don't understand, what do you mean bring from that, like, they're not there yet, but I don't understand.
Your other guys came down on a Sunday.
Um,
I think we should just move to continue this unless someone else.
I make a motion to continue it.
I second. All in favor?
Would
Aye.
you continue with the request of getting the town attorney?
Town attorney.
The town attorney's opinion.
Yeah.
We'll bring the driveway.
That's a question, when there is a violation on the property, is there a amount of time that owner has? The right state that there's an amount of time that owner has to repair the violation prior to applying for a new. Prior to applying for a new completely separate unrelated application.
Enforcement usually gets 14 days when a notice of violation goes out.
Sure, I haven't received a notice about it.
I think it's because you came in to get a compliant way of approving it.
So if I may, I see one or two ways, and you guys can chime in. We can make your approval conditional on fix the driveway first. We can wait for town attorney picking that. That would be my personal position. Gentlemen can speak for themselves.
We just want the driveway fixed. That's it. And we just want it done at a time.
For me, then I'm mutually exclusive. I would like to do the signing at the same time. I don't.
I think that's the question Todd has that should be asked. We can't have the town attorney actually give an answer.
I think that's a yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an attorney.
Well, if we made an approval contingent upon the driveway being done, then we can't do the work until the driveway is fixed.
I'm good with that if he is. I mean, I think it's one or the other. Either we make a conditional fixing the driveway first, or we wait for town attorney opinion. That would be the situation I would be.
Are you satisfied with that if we make approval contingent upon the driveway being fixed?
Would it be okay if we hear from the rest of the board on this matter?
You don't have a motion pending.
We do. We have a second on the
Then we
motion
should
to
continue.
continue it for the attorney to review, but that's just gonna result. in
You'll still
compliance.
have to check for public access.
Well, it's still.
It's still open, it's still open.
I'll withdraw the motion. But I continue. Okay.
Well, I would think that would be more advantageous to you than having the whole thing continue.
Right,
It's up to you.
I'd love for the siding and the window application to be voted on tonight on its merit. I'm happy to do the driveway work. Soon. For example, at the same time, even before the siding. happy with it.
Well, if we made it conditional, we couldn't do the siding work until the driveway work was done.
I'm fine doing that.
As would I be.
I'm not, I think it's overstepping. my limits.
I understand, but
I have nothing to contribute to this conversation.
My thoughts. At this time, if you want to do it contingent on a driver, you can go, you can vote on it tonight. If you don't, I'm gonna question for the motion to continue.
I appreciate the first offer. I have one question. And can that work be done simultaneously without any final sign offs on the siding or and if not, then why not? Where does it state that?
Just. I would need more time to review everything to give you an honest opinion.
If I were you, I would. Based on the, at least what a couple of members of the commission have stated. I think you ought to. Town attorney, because I do not think that we have, the right to make either completing a separate application for some other kind of work. Contingent upon your. That's.
I don't think our bylaws prohibit it either.
Why not? Why wouldn't we just like a building permit that's something in violation? Yeah, issue no. Continue.
Building permit needed for the ground.
I'm just in a hypothetical, just saying if something's in violation, which.
Well, that's what I said, you make a contingent upon that, and we'll get your building permit, that's part of the HDC
Right,
stipulation.
but in normal procedures, yeah, I mean, we can spend the time, I can look at this. Yeah, like in normal conditions, you can't get another building permit for like a violation of a preceding building.
It's a gray area, it's a gray area.
You can't,
Yeah, it depends probably on what type of work.
can't
you're talking.
exacerbate it.
So it's changing on a furnace, we do a furnace, deliver somebody.
It's not
gotta stop
exactly
them on that.
It's unrelated.
Right.
I see.
So let me ask you a question. If I was in the historic district hypothetically, my parents' house that isn't, and I had an addition without a permit.
Yeah.
And then you guys found me in violation, I wanted to, I don't
I
know,
push you to get permits squared away with it.
add some
without a
dormers
permit.
without a permit. Would you issue my permit to the dormers after the addition was a violation?
No, you'd have to get the first, if the notice of violation went out, for the cease and desist, you'd have to correct the cease and desist first. But that's also the state that it's building.
I'm just a little confused as to why you need to have them done simultaneous. I mean, how's somebody gonna be working on your siding and all this other stuff while somebody else is fixing the driveway?
So we have to put tarps down, when we take the siding off, that would be in the driveway.
The crew to. Before this meeting, I thought we had 5 years to make the correction. And we received no notice of violation. I got an approval in that folder separately. The hope was to plan, begin this work as soon as possible. So before coming in tonight, I was understanding that the review of the rec. The 5-year window. Modification. So this is new. So I do have crews ready to start on siding.
The motion for continuance, I guess you got quite a question.
I think we withdrew that motion. You want me to, I make the motion to continue and get a town attorney opinion.
If you look at the handbook, I mean.
Your COA you issued was a correction to what was a violation.
But it doesn't approve the violation.
I get that, that's why, and that's why I said that's the gray area.
And this goes into talking about how you can't. If the violation persists. I don't know.
Yeah, so I said it's a gray area. I would suggest we see town attorney's opinion on it.
I think that's.
Or you just do the driveway, then you may make the stuff conditional.
But even the first sentence of that says the historic district enforcement officer may issue an immediate stop work order for any construction or demolition activities which are proceeding in violation of the historic district ordinance. This is not proceeding in
Or
violation.
violation.
Right, but we couldn't do it 'cause it's done on a Sunday.
Regulation for rulings, which it is. I think it's.
And he corrected the violation by coming in here and getting the driveway fixed, but he hasn't completed that work yet, so that's that.
That's where I think it's. I just don't, otherwise, here's the way I see the thing is that otherwise you can then do whatever you want. Get an ability to correct. Wait 5 years to make the correction. Wait that you do every one, so that enough people are offended, or the activity that violated it.
It doesn't necessarily.
Or the worst
I mean, I'm
case
not gonna
scenario-
lose sleep over it, but.
or the worst
I
case
just
scenario
think-
is you
Yeah.
never issue an approval. Because.
I just think it should be
Yeah,
fixed.
it's just, it's great. It's a great area.
I'm a little bit surprised we're talking about the driveway again. I was hoping to review this application and it's not even have it review on its next. Is that possible to do tonight? Knowing that I don't have any existing violations on property, any stop or any sign.
Fine, then I make a motion to find the violation, the driveway violation.
I'm confused that it wasn't, because I worked with them.
I thought it was too, but let's just, fine, I make a motion to find a violation.
Second,
All in favor,
I,
What was your motion?
find the driveway violation.
I'm gonna abstain.
I agree. Or, yeah.
I'm thinking we should just give the county. Bring the opinion on the whole thing.
Well, the question is the driveway violation.
I don't think it's in violation since he has the approval. to remedy the violation.
You're saying that.
Yes. No.
So what do we, if it wasn't in violation, what do we approve? Like, that's what
That's
what I don't understand, like, I thought it was supposed to be under 11 feet, it was 14, 13 feet or 18 feet. And we worked out a way to solve that, my,
Right, that's why there was. no-
so then.
right, so
So
Eric's
it
motion that's
was in
still presently in
violation.
violation,
That's why
because it's still
we
too
had
big.
him- had
That's why you had
extra
a
young year.
COA to correct the violation.
So it's,
Yeah.
so you just
There
said.
was a
it,
violation, he has a COA in place to correct the violation.
But the
The
violation,
fear is you got 5 years to do that.
Violation
Worry
still
about
exists at
it.
this
Like,
point.
but the
it's
violation,
not doing the work.
but didn't you just say it was in violation? The
Right.
COA was,
No, the COA approved the violation.
no, it didn't approve the fix.
no, we
Yeah,
approved the.
it
fix.
approved, yes, it approved how to fix the violation.
Correct. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's my, so it was in violation.
Yeah.
Okay, so then yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would just add it, I don't care if it's a violation or not, I don't think it's anything to do with this application.
I'm not disagreeing
Signing.
with that. I'm
Signing.
just voting.
No, I just want.
We're just voting that.
Like, they're two unrelated.
So the motion, I believe,
It's
is
like
passed
you're
3 to
you're
2.
telling This guy, again, that you guys like to do because he's a bad guy for doing something wrong tonight, you're slapping him when he wants to do something. Right. I do not, I think we're mixing apples and oranges in the context of what he wants to do, and I think that's.
I have no problem with you improving property. I didn't really have a problem with the driveway, but you did what you weren't supposed to do. The neighbors got upset about it. People wrote letters about it. I'm just saying, I think it should be resolved, fixed before you can move on and do more, because you say you're gonna do it, the reality is you're probably not, and that's what it seems like. So all we're trying to do is just make it a condition precedent, so you improve the property, everyone's happy, and this is over with.
Why don't we make a condition instead of 5 years like the real estate, or 2 months, or 5 weeks?
I
That
just
the
call it,
driveway, that the driveway work is completed.
then wait the 5 weeks to start the work. Just fix the driveway the way it's supposed to be, and then we can start, then we can vote on this, we can start that.
So, Mr. Young, if I may, you don't believe it's in with our regulations. I offered a town attorney opinion. You don't seem comfortable with that.
I'm happy to.
Then we said we can make
Then
it
let's
conditional.
continue.
So we're trying to work. You just tell us, you got choices, which one you prefer.
If we continue it though for 2 weeks with town attorney, you're not gonna get the attorney's opinion. 4 to 6 weeks.
I could probably get it, but I'm not gonna guarantee, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hey, glass half full.
I don't have any problem with any of this, I just don't think it's the right.
Well, yeah, I think there's a question to be asked, but and you need a legal interpretation of how to proceed with that, because
Unless he wants to make it conditional, then that's his decision.
then that's something you're bothering with each other.
So we could, theoretically, we could approve it, but you couldn't begin the work until the driveway was fixed.
Which might be quicker than waiting for town attorney. And then finding that town attorney says you're not right. And then you're found in violation.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the second. I'm happy to.
So let's just.
No, I'm saying, go ahead. You have a proposal you can have it. I mean, again, I was under the impression that in 5 years, so this is kind of caught me off guard. My proposal would be my intent. Have every intention of changing that driveway when I'm calling this department and got the 5-year, I was surprised, but I would like to start the window and siding work as soon as possible. We're under repair there. It's a bad time here to find workers, and I can, scour the earth finding someone to repair the driveway. Yeah, I thought I heard you say you could get the driveway done in 60 days. That's what I'm saying, that I will. Not be conditional, rather than 60 days. That would be close enough for you guys.
I would want the driveway done first, because again, unless you can put it in this, I don't understand how.
Why don't we just split the baby into 30? You said
But,
no. you said-
Okay, hang on. I just want to understand how you can work on the siding and the driveway at the same time, because to me, that doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
We can't,
I'm
we
not,
can't.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but it doesn't matter. If they can do it, they can do it. 30 days?
I'm happy with both. I'm happy to go with both on the siding and to impose a deadline. To do the previous applications. What happened.
Can we do it in 30 days?
Sure.
But then you realize you can't begin work on your current proposal. Yeah, you can't begin work on your current proposal until the other work.
Driveway's done.
I mean, we could approve it, but you can't have anything done until the driveway is fixed. If it's conditioned on the driveway being.
From doing a lot of work in this area, I do not doubt that we'll be able to find someone to make that a minor repair, get a landscape. Right?
So sequentially deciding where it's in now, aside from the fall, but
My condition.
for the final opinion. Here, planning like one put together.
I just want, I'm more. with
I'm
you.
gonna get on with the project.
No, I agree, and I'm more on your side, believe me, I just think it,
Look better when it's done.
yeah, I just think the correction should be made. And then they can.
So, and Ted, I agree. I think the work you can do to the house is wonderful. And it's much more historically accurate than the stucco. I disagree. I don't believe in allowing that before until the violations are.
Isn't it just cutting out a little driveway, putting some Belgian blocks and filling with dirt?
And then it took a long time to find that Massachusetts contractor to come down.
So you're the one that says the Massachusetts got to get down to something, not right? So, okay, I didn't even quote it, but that was what you said, let you quote yourself. There's a ton of landscapers around here. I'm sure if you call one of them, they can get out there with a demo saw, cut the driveway, throw some dirt in, put the Belgian blocks in. It's not like you bring a driveway contractor back in to like repave. You're just chopping out a section, making a little curve and calling it a day. And then you can do your other stuff.
Okay, so assuming that the siding window application would be approved on its merits. And theoretically, if there's driveway changes could be made tomorrow, then could I at that point apply for a building permit and not have to come back to the board for this?
If we
For the siding and.
If we approve it contingent upon the driveway being completed, you complete the driveway. Tom will move it that day, you can get a building permit the day after. I would not, we're not, he doesn't come back.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So I would make a motion that we approve the current application. It's a contingency.
We gotta do that.
We gotta do that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still open public hearing.
All right.
This is pre.
You still got-
I would have asked for, public input. Is everybody okay with the way the materials are listed?
These are-
You're doing that.
I got too much side conversation.
Consideration.
Hey,
Yeah. we'll chat.
Going on.
Sorry. Chat.
I'm just trying to understand.
I'm
just too
okay
much
if it's
going
all
on.
listed
You guys gotta
online,
stay.
so everybody else is. Has everybody looked at the application? They okay with the way the materials are listed in the drawing?
Let me see.
You specify the materials?
So, it is on, so the, I call it for the small town, so. importantly, the board and batten and the trim are, it's, the brand name is Floral or True Exterior.
That's on here.
It is on that, it is on the,
Yeah, does it say the window maker too on that?
Yeah, it's all the details.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to be clear. I think it's gonna look great.
I think that we're excited to make good changes to the home from.
I think-
Now, are you gonna put the purple back up top too, or just the? I don't know how close to the.
No, those are gone. It's just an overhang.
Huh? No, that's all I was curious, and it'd be quite a project. I'll believe it.
He didn't. Do you want to say anything about the decking? You didn't mention that.
The front decking right now is, it's Douglas fir and it's tongue and groove. They're 1x4. Tongue and groove. Being an open porch like that, it still gets a lot of water, rain. So because of that, I chose what I thought would be a historically precedent and it's a bad photo because it's black and white, but my plan was to do 1x4 defects, so match it dimensionally, but they have a hairline crack, it's going to let water go on it.
And is that the e-pay listed? I didn't see that, I might have missed that, okay.
Yeah, and then this is very minor, but on the front, under the front porch, you can see this lattice work. This will become wooden or cedar lattice work for some old land. All these raptor tails, this lattice here holding up a gutter, all of this is going to be scraped and repainted and used if possible, and if not, it'll be replicated and will match exactly those notes are on. These, unfortunately, these 4 columns got stucco too, so if you look closely, it's very dimple. The plan on those is to scrape and try and attach and to keep the columns. They're 100% structural. You just have a even, it looks like gravel. These columns.
I don't have.
It's
I'm
stucco
assuming-
the columns.
They did. They just put a little, basically, because must have a cousin stuck it. It's pretty hilarious.
And
So anyway, I had before and after chop drawings of the windows and the dimensions.
And I'm not seeing it. That doesn't mean it's here. It's just the font is really small. And but you have the list of everything, the e-pay, decking, and I'm trusting you to misunderstand the question. I just can't physically
Yes.
see it.
So I had the trim, I had the siding and trim manufacturer and dimensions called out. I have the front porch being e-pay, that's called out. I have the in the window manufacturer and shop drawing stone window manufacturer on the matching old windows. Ironically, there's only 3 window sizes on the whole home. If you don't count the front door and the side door. There's the second floor window size, there's the first floor window size, and the attic window size. It's a little bit 3 sizes. Okay. So it's a very simple square home on that rhythm. Okay. But yeah, the only kind of change on the window trim was peeling that little piece of trim off. Trim help the stucco not be proud of the trim. Gotcha.
Okay. All right, thank you. You need this back.
No, I didn't. Yeah, we. Okay, anyone else? You good? Yep. Public?
Can I ask you to just close the door?
Do we want to wait till Ted gets back in to take this quick research, or does it matter?
No.
Okay.
For comments?
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. You're all set. Anyone in the public have any comments for or against? I'll take you first. Sorry.
I sent these comments to you by email on Monday, so I wanted to see it. Read it into the.
No, we're gonna do that in public communications.
We do that later.
Which,
Alright.
but.
You can read it if you like.
Now.
Well, it's just the director relates to.
Sure.
Go ahead, read mine. What's your comment?
So if you want to read it, we won't read it later.
Okay,
If you want to talk
Alright.
about it, we'll read it later. It's kind of-
I'll just read.
All right. First, please sit down, state your name and.
Oh, don't worry about
I
it.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, you can just read it.
Okay, my wife Amy and I live at 54 Pearl Street, right next to Steve. We are very much in support of this improvement to the house. With some reservations. Number one, the removal of the stucco would be very messy and disgusting. The question is there any asbestos or any contents in? If you know, because the best is going to
50-year-old stuck up.
so. Sorry.
That's not an us.
That's not any.
Falls under health code.
So.
Technically, when he goes to do that, he's supposed to follow the standards for all the remediation. Which the state of Connecticut has with the health department.
Okay, so he's got, that's for the building.
Technically, we have no control over that. It's actually falls under health. So it actually falls under the state health code.
Yeah, as a living, breathing, baby,
Mhm.
how do I make sure that?
Contact the state health department to be able to give you some information on that.
Contact the health department?
Technically, he's supposed to get contractors that are certified for that.
Okay.
To do that work.
Or you call the lighthouse,
Legislate help.
Legislate health, you can contact.
Okay. When Mr. Young reconstructed the reaching of his roof a few years ago, we looked up for the matters and terms. Well, I said, directly, we couldn't get how to go on it. We're asking that these construction personnel inspect our border and other matters. Not best man.
Not an issue. It's
You're good on it.
not.
We just don't.
So,
Not in our purview to enforce.
okay, so I had called police and these. Okay.
Yeah, trust civil or criminal.
Okay, replacement windows, I'm not an architect, he is, but, I see it was 10% smaller. I didn't see any measurements, here of his existing windows. I see that his existing windows are 64 inches high. I'm sorry, the existing windows are 71 inches high. And the proposed windows are 64 inches. That's 7 inches different. That's again, your pervious, 10% smaller window is okay. Then your judgment. Actually, it's the house has very large windows, it's historic, and we put it in stock building windows.
Can I ask what your measurement, because it sounded like from, just speaking from my understanding was that. It sounds like you're measuring from the edge of the trim to edge of the trim.
No, I'm measuring sash, just the sash,
Oh,
because ironically, Steve gave me some of his old windows to put on my garage. I know exactly what did that. Because they're on my garage. But, yeah,
But-
anyways, I
but-
think
there's 3 different window sizes. There's first
I
floor.
was just using the first floor of windows as my 71 to 60 height and 36 versus 31 and a half. width. So we do square footage on that, it's 30.
I think the comments will receive, I'm just not sure that what I would consider more of a minor change is necessarily enough to trigger any sort of way.
I don't know.
I do have a question. I think Mr. Young said if you measure them, they're exactly the same as, can I ask the question? Is that
He
okay?
did. He said they match.
Are they exactly the? Go ahead.
Mr. Bush.
Yes, sir.
Press class and curious how you measure the number one. Number two, the sash size is what I said now. The frame, either new technology, whether it's slightly larger or smaller.
Agreed. I measured the sash size and the sash size. If I did it correctly. But I think.
So the sash sizes are the same, Mr. Young?
Sash size that is there is the vehicle that drove. I said, I need a window with a sash size
Right.
of this. And that's what the soft drawing on this application. said.
I would encourage you to take a. Measuring stakes because exactly that. And measuring 60 meters to 71, I don't know. You guys can do something. I think that's it. We discussed the HPC permit on the driveway. I think it's all done. So this thing is beautiful. Driveway. Sort of looks original to me. Well, I got, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments for or against this application? Caroline? Caroline?
Caroline, can you hear us?
Hi, Caroline. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Caroline Young. I am Stephen Young's wife, resident at 52 Pearl Street. Thanks for tuning into this Zoom. You know, again, hearing what I could remotely, I couldn't hear all the conversation, but you know, my argument is that consider this application with a little bit of compassion. We had a terrible flood in our house. We haven't been able to use our house in a year and a half. Our windows are broken. We want to enjoy this mystic home. And I feel that it's not only unethical, but almost criminal how Mr. Sorensen and Mr. Bush have this personal vendetta against us. I mean, I have felt threatened personally by them on multiple occasions. And I think that in the best interest of being fair and just and neighborly, that Mr. Sorensen should recuse himself from this procedure, because I think he does carry a personal vendetta toward us. We want to make the house beautiful.
Sorry, can I just cut you off for a second? Who's Mr. Sorensen?
Please go back to the driveway is.
So I appreciate your comments, but the editorial nature of it isn't really relevant to what we're deciding.
Yeah, but
Just
I think
deciding-
that you're someone called it, and again, I can't see your names and your faces because I'm on the Zoom, but it's apples and oranges. This is a window and siding application. We're going to fix the driveway. Okay. It's not a, you know, you're making us out to be criminals here. It's a driveway.
No,
We're going to
we're
fix
just-
it.
we're
It's a
just asking-
window. It's
I-
a window and a siding application. We want to use this beautiful house and enjoy it. And right now we can't even use it. We can't use it in any fashion. So
Right.
I just ask for a little compassion in this process, because I do think that this is not all legalese here, that there's some personal opinion coloring the decision making.
Okay, this is Eric Goodman, the chairperson. Just to be clear, all we're asking for is a violation that we've agreed is a violation to be corrected in a timely manner, which sounds like it's going to be done. Then you are more than free to go on. Well, once we vote and make a decision, whatever the decision is, you're free to go on and do what that decision is. I can tell you and assure you that there is no personal nature to any of this. I don't know anyone on that street, quite frankly, in your area. No one has spoken to me, or I think any of our colleagues. It's not personal. We're just trying to follow this.
Okay, well, I'd like to believe that. I truly would, in the interest of making this house habitable and beautiful and compliant, you know, with the historic zone. So I'd like to believe that.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to get the violation corrected, and then you can go on, and it sounds like you're doing what you want to do. The
Yeah,
quicker
it
the
just-
violation is resolved, the quicker you can go on to do the other piece.
Okay, I mean, without going down the rabbit hole of legal action here, I'm just not sure that is appropriate, but we will fix the driveway. I just, you know, again, we want to act swiftly because we want to use our house. We're not trying to break any laws here. We just want to use our house.
Well, this is Don Remington, Vice Chair. We actually haven't had a specific motion on your application, and so certainly we haven't even voted on it. So there's nothing solid that's been, no action has been taken yet.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Pass.
Yeah, I thought I saw your hand up. That's why.
You did. Yeah, thank you.
Changed his mind.
Okay, HCC 23
We haven't voted
It's
on
14.
We're still.
Right, so we're just closing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So HTC 23-14 is closed. Close public hearings and move on to deliberation. For consideration. So HTC 23-12, this is 36 Pearl Street. Advanced where this was the replacement of windows. Any motions, comments?
So we can continue that one.
We did, I apologize. HCC 23-13, 159 High Street. This is the solar project. Any motions? comments?
I move to approve.
I will second. All in favor?
Uh, Yeah, Goodrich, I mean, I think it's complies with all staples. Yep, so I'm good with it.
And it was a comprehensive presentation. So I vote in favor.
Goodman, I vote aye, and I appreciate you putting the contract back.
Levinson, we also have a mandate at state law that we can favor placement of solar panels and it's, consistent with that mandate, so I vote aye.
Ferguson, I vote aye as well, but just to piggyback the fact that you've taken the time to think thoughtfulness of the surrounding neighbors and one is not far away from you. I appreciate that we've done it.
Yes, thank you.
HTC 23-13 is approved. Thank you. Thank you. All right, HTC 23-14.
You're gonna get something in the mail that'll be an official approval, so you get it written.
HCC 23-14, 52 Pearl Street. Any motions, comments?
I would make a motion that we approve it contingent upon the previously approved driveway improvements or corrections having been completed.
To be clear, I agree with that, but I would say completed first within, did he say 30 days? Was that his agreed time frame of 60?
Just completed first.
Okay, all right. I second it if it's contingent on being completed first.
The building permit is contingent upon. the driveway. You're pointing for this. Yeah,
Well, I would have to write it up in the approval application.
so what exactly?
That the approval of the commencement of, I'm going to approve this, but the commencement of this project cannot begin until the previously approved driveway reconstruction is completed.
And signed off by.
Signed off by the enforcement officer.
I second that motion with those amendments.
All in favor?
Goodrich, aye.
Brady, aye.
Goodman, aye.
Levinson, aye.
No. No. Okay, no. Ferguson, no. Ferguson, no. Okay, HTC 23-14 is approved contingent upon the driveway COA. Needed and signed off. Pre-application. 5153 High Street. Thanks.
Hello again,
Hi.
back again.
Hello.
We have shingles that we have on the roof of our house.
You have to identify yourself.
Excuse me?
Identify yourself.
Oh, I thought you were in the room.
We do, but you have to identify yourself for the record.
Kate Coolridge, homeowner, architect. And someone who is usually good at doing things upside down, but not really. So this is the house on the corner of New London and High Street, and we recently had approval for our porch and our solar panels. And this is New London here, High Street here, and what we'd like to do now is replace the shingles on the house. We had thought this would be repair, but we discovered the plastering is really non-existent, otherwise we shot and others, so we'd like to use shingle. And we'd like to do so that it.
Just to cut you off a little bit, just 1 second. Is this an architectural? It's not like the color.
Different shingle, it's a different shingle. Whatever. Okay.
We didn't know we would have to come to life, but as Peter was pointed out, these actually, if we change the color of the symbol, we have to change it. So first we focused on some reading, we said, I'm not sure, and I said, we fall on it, and Peter said, the way it's written, we told you this narrow portion. So
I think we could probably do this though, so it's just that color to that color.
Which color is the original existing? Or we're moving it to this?
and it's much
This is a pre-hearing, this isn't an application.
No, I know, but I just don't think we can discuss because they're going architectural. Just change the color. So it's just really care about the color.
Well, we only need an application.
No, I know, but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, she's asking our advice. I think it's fine
Oh,
personally.
okay.
Yeah, you have to
Still
still.
have to come back.
And it should be only the side that this is south white, but you can see the color difference. I marked it up on all the other stuff, but you can't even tell because they don't have south white, so they're going for this. To this dark.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Yeah. Hi.
So you already filled in your application.
Yes, we did today.
That goes back again.
Oh, sorry.
So should we just come back into these?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Because we have to get public notice and all that.
That's what-
Yes.
Even pickets and pitchforks.
Torches coming up the hill.
So just the only reason I said that. Architecture, we've never had a problem with any shape.
I can't think of any reason.
And I think the black looks fabulous, whatever that's worth. Right.
Well, because it never made sense to me. We have no jurisdiction over what color you paint your house, but we do have jurisdiction.
Yeah, see, that's why at first I didn't think, when you first walked in.
And when we moved here, we looked at that because Mark was the head of the Wisconsin Historic Trust for decades and like, for a long time, and we weren't sure about why it was there. But it seems that because the colors integral to the material, that's the issue. For example, if you put siding on our house, it's not a question of painting your house, but if we put siding that had a color that was integral, that wasn't painted, then we would do that. So for example, I can, I'm not thinking of the siding that we put a color on, and so one could make stuff like that. And well, again,
Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta just submit the application with the specifications and the.
we've already done that.
Okay.
Okay.
Comments are in the application.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. We'll move on to public communications. Do we need to reread that?
No. No, it's already read. He was good.
Was that the?
Is there anybody that's? Pre-hearing?
I think Sophia's just watching the watch. I don't know. Crowd. So
That's sounds that.
And Craig and Amy Bush,
That was,
that was the gentleman that was
Right.
here. Okay.
I mean, we should have maybe ask if anybody wants to talk.
I don't think so.
Probably not, but maybe Craig or Amy Bush.
Who's Craig and Amy Bush? You want to ask
They
them,
were here.
but they're still there.
So it's probably Craig, that's probably Amy on Zoom. I'm assuming.
Okay,
Public communication.
yeah, I just,
We just finished that. Was there another public communication?
wasn't the handbook rewrite supposed to be on this study, identify the pages and then work on it next time?
Probably working on 2 weeks, it was another 2 weeks. We're deciding that.
We'll come add it later.
Make a
We'll make a
motion,
motion,
yeah,
because it's just, it's easy to do
Yeah,
it, so.
You can do it in new business.
Sure. So approval of the minutes, I just have one comment on the special meeting minutes, it says I wasn't there, but I was. I was on Zoom.
I think you showed up late, yeah.
I was on Zoom.
Yeah, you showed up late, didn't you?
He was on Zoom
He
for
was
the
on Zoom.
presentation by the State Historic Preservation being came to the.
Yeah. But was there for the full thing? Maybe?
Yeah, the only thing I lost at the end was when you.
Oh.
No, because
You text.
yeah, exactly.
He was. No, that's my only comment. Sorry.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Can I make motions and stuff now? Yeah, I'd say, let's, the minutes for that meeting.
Was there anything else you saw in it?
Well, there's only one, it's, I don't think it's, I mean, it's changed all of this comment, but at the end, we, talked for about 10 minutes. There was no audio for that part of the meeting. And just my own, keeping up with it.
So Sue just got a hold of me. She said without, whenever we backs away from the microphone, it's not coming in. Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So anyways, since you guys were here and I wasn't, I don't know what the nature of Ruth's comments were. Can you summarize them for me?
I couldn't hear because you muted.
My understanding of what she said was she asked the question about her property. And again, same question, and they didn't really give a definitive response, but basically supported the decision is what it is.
Right, Shippa said there was no way to overturn it. State Historic Preservation Office meeting, Shippa.
She said they should talk to their neighbors. They said they already did. Try to get it resolved.
All right. So I want to explain to you that. So I'm.
Has Tom gone out to look, do you know?
He's not gone up for the final.
So I make a motion of the minutes for the meeting. Very good, I'm recording this. You approved as amended. Show the error.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. All aye.
I get to vote on that, I don't know.
No,
No, but thanks for giving it your blessing.
you can't make motions. You
I
could
can't make
just,
motion to do to take that down.
no, you could just inform us of shortcomings and somebody else would have to make.
Okay, so,
Well,
so,
fix
so,
all that up.
so
Somebody else-
I'll make the motion to approve the special meeting minutes.
So Ferguson made the motion, Levinson second.
Second,
Okay, and then it was approved. Unanimous.
Aye.
What about the meeting of the or the minutes of the actual meeting?
I think it's fine. I could have made.
What's the date of that meeting?
That was March 21st.
I make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of March 21st.
Second, Brady.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
All ayes.
You didn't say aye.
I said aye.
You did?
Yeah, aye. Aye. Okay. What? We gotta get out of this. Can I just see your agenda? Okay. Yeah, so
Oh, my agenda.
can I make I'll make a motion to add HTC handbook rewrite to the agenda quick.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
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 That carries. So if we could just for next week, if everyone can just take a look at sections 1.1 to 1.4, that's just regulated activities. It's like 5 pages. If you can do it in Word with track changes and just bring that in, that would be helpful. And we can just run through those 5 pages, and that'll at least start that 1.4.
Changes, okay.
So I just, to be clear though, the goal of this rewrite is just to clean up things that really should be. So let's just not try to get into completely rewriting it. I don't think we have the time or the resources. I think it'd be good to just clean up stuff that is blatantly wrong.
Agreed.
All right.
So what can, that clarification of the process to amend the guidelines?
You would have to go to town, I think, have to go to public vote, town council. Once you put it all together, you consolidate the whole thing and then you have to go in and get a vote for approval. Public hearing will be set up for,
Yeah, but like planning and zoning, planning and zoning changes.
because of the public hearing.
Yeah. Like that's one of these,
Yeah,
not a town council.
more people would show up for it.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'll check.
I think we should just continue on.
Yeah.
Coming up with drafts.
Believe me, you got a few weeks before you're gonna be ready for that.
I think it's a very good idea.
Okay. Yeah, because the one of the things is we take the first section, and then a couple of sections. When we get to the actual like all that commentary that he wrote originally in there, I don't think we're gonna end up getting into a lot of that, because it's. A lot of it's just editorial comments about the history of this, which I think is great. If there's something that's glaring, we'll deal with it at that point. Contextual. So, or it's I1 through I4, just that regulated activities pages. That's all I have. Okay, moving on. Any old business?
Just the enforcement updates.
Okay.
How about the signs, where we at on that?
He didn't give me a number yet on the cost. So I'm just looking at the cost, but he's got the revisions and they figured out. Just gotta get the numbers.
Can we ask that that be finalized by next week?
Should be able to get it. All right, so. 265 Noank Road. They were going for a CO inspection, final certificate of appropriateness. And Tom went out there and the house is substantially conforming to the proposed plans. However, the windows vary from the proposed plans. Staff requests direction from the commission to determine if the changes are negligible for the proposed champ plans, or if the applicant should be requested by the commission to present the changes.
This is when they changed the picture window to 3 double hunts.
Yeah. And he took a picture of both. He's got the original approval, and then he's got what is actually out there. on the
Everyone look at
building.
that. You didn't get that email?
I did not get that email.
Yeah, we got it
Your email
last
sent
night.
about that?
No, I checked.
I didn't think it was that major hassle, but it was.
I thought it was actually improved.
Better, yeah.
That picture window was ugly in the original approval. It's like from the seventies. He put in the 3 double.
But on the record, we should still stress that things like that should be approved. Just because it is better doesn't mean that it's not.
And that's why
The process
he's,
should be followed.
I mean, do you think we
That's
should make
fine.
them come just so everybody feels they're being treated the same way? I'll leave it up to you guys.
I would
think that's fine.
think he should just come state that he made this revision. And we all like it, there's no brainer.
Even though it sounds like it's gonna be pretty.
so. 39 Pearl Street. Fence installed without a permit. Second notice of violation has been mailed out to the owner for failing to comply. And after 30 days,
Which one was that one?
so 39 Pearl Street,
What's the, is that the fence?
The vinyl
the fence, yeah,
The fence is higher than.
fence installed without a permit.
No, this is.
The difference.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the fences.
It's vinyl, because there's a vinyl on the front of the vinyl on the back and neither of them. No, we're talking next to up and down. Bonnie's old house?
Not her house, down that.
Oh, the black one in the back?
Yeah, it's kind of, little lights on top.
Oh, I have no idea. What fence are you talking about?
39 Pearl Street, one without, it was installed without a permit.
Little fence in front of the house. Was fine.
You talking about the vinyl fence? You don't know?
I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Black. Got little, filigree.
Is that 39?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one right here.
41, right?
It's right next to Bonnie's. So it's a little vinyl fence, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
in front of that red house?
Yeah, it's a little vinyl fence on the side.
Who made that?
The one.
No.
39 is the red house, right?
Yeah, but who complained about that?
Oh, it's the second time he went out there for it, second notice of violation.
Right. The old, right. Okay, but it's the red
Is
house.
this the house bed? You've been out here.
So I mean.
That's 39.
Teeny fence in front of it?
Not in the picture.
It's not in the picture.
Is that
Is
it?
that the house?
Is that it?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it
Oh,
is. It's got,
this is what-
the driveway also has a fence. I mean, the fence goes past the driveway.
This was.
The
the-
fence
You know what else is
Sidewalk.
interesting about it? Is that there's a chain link on this side.
Oh, you
It's
just,
been there
Well,
forever.
but you see, this photo may predate the fence.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not sure if that's the side.
I think this was
That's
the
what
fence that was complained about by the woman that came in to the cobblestone driveway that used to be on the commission that didn't want to come back on.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
No, it's here. I know what you're talking about. It's
But
right
that
here.
guy's the chain, there's a
Yeah.
chain link. Now I've seen chain link all over the place.
So I don't know what that, the one that was complained to me like 2 years ago was the one next to her, but how the vinyl. It's like it's all with the vinyl. fence.
What's the address on that?
It's white. Yeah.
It's 7 Pearl.
This one.
No, we're talking about the one that's.
is the one right next to
This is the
Harvard Town,
first
the
time I've
two
ever-
family?
It's the first time I've ever heard of this one. I think it's a two-family. It's to the left of Urban. That was.
Oh, two to the left, not right next to Arbor Hill.
Yeah, that was the one that.
Yep.
Complained about. Yeah. That was, 9 Bell Street.
9.
There's a vinyl fence in front of the vinyl fence in the back. And that was complained about back when. He wouldn't approve.
There could still be a time frame with that, because he's only giving the one he's been.
Okay. That one was complained about though, when the neighbor was upset that when they moved the vinyl fence around the, on Elm Street.
Yeah, and there was,
Corner of Elm and Library. And then she said there's a vinyl fence down there, it didn't have approval, and that started that.
I know there was a language barrier.
Yeah, but this is like 2 years ago. So, okay.
All right. So. At 15 Water Street, protocol. Letter sent out, reinstall the grid. Steps owner was contacted today and he's going to be applying for HTC this week to bring it back to compliance with the steps. So I guess you reach out to Dan from Oyster Club and he's going to be handling. coming
They're
back
gonna
in.
come back.
Yeah, I guess they're coming in just to talk to the commission, to let them know they're going to try and fix it, bring it back into compliance.
You said last meeting that he has-
He's gonna, right,
has the-
he has them stored there and I believe he wants to bring them back unless he's coming out with some sort of a compromise, I don't know. But he's coming back to the meeting next, our next meeting, 2 weeks from now, so.
Okay, and I have, what was the one about the black aluminum fence that went up later, farther down?
All right, can I bring you? Can I get my steer?
I just want to make sure his and yours and mine,
All right, Bank and Bridge,
that's me.
he was talking with Walt today, actually, they went back and forth with email correspondence, and he's just taking those speakers down. So he's just gonna, he says, I'll just take them down. He doesn't want to come back and try and get approval on them, so he just saw that, like, this is gonna terrible.
Aaron, what then?
The speakers, the speakers,
Oh, you had more, or you don't?
Well, I thought the fence. Fence was on the side.
yeah,
He didn't find any other violations. Was he only looking at the speaker?
yeah, it was the speakers is the only one.
And then based on the State Historic Preservation Office comments, I want to put a referral forward to look at that again, so we just write something up to you guys, send it to you and
Yeah, you can, I don't know, that's a stretch on that one.
I'm fine.
That is me or him?
Okay, I value your opinion, but I still want to look at it.
Revisit Pizzetta.
Okay. I just have a question on that though, because it's using that as an example, not specifically related to that. But if someone comes in with a project that has multiple components. And they have 5 years to complete it, is there a threshold of what needs to be completed for them to use the components that are part of it, or do they need to complete the whole thing?
They have 5 years to complete whatever the COA was.
But can they use what was done?
It's not a life safety concern, I would think they could.
So they get
So
the
you
financial
can-
benefit of violating a COA, that's.
So they got the 5 years to do. It's not a violation until the 5 years are up. That's the
So
thing you
in
gotta
in the future,
understand.
we'll just issue time issues on our
Right,
additional
right,
COAs. Okay.
exactly. I think that's the way you should go on that. is You have something like
So
that.
it, just again, I'm not picking on that.
Yeah.
Very clear. Lawyers. In a scenario like that, we have additions and whatever,
Mhm.
you could complete parts of it. Use those parts, but it's okay. As long as
Because
everything's.
technically you have the 5 years to complete the whole project.
But you never can issue, you can't issue a CO for the portions that they complete without the COA being something. Or you now, would you now be issuing COs on a part, like I just didn't understand that. part, John.
I try to keep those completely separate, building department from HTC. I'm trying to keep those completely separate. You know, they get intertwined messily with this stuff right now.
Right,
Not appreciated.
sorry.
So
I think
can I ask you a question on the 5 years?
Yeah.
Is that a state mandated or is that something we've set? So would we, if we update the,
I'm
and
assuming
make
it's-
it
I'm
6
assuming
months?
I'm
a
assuming
year?
it's statutory, put in there, but we can look that up.
Can we find that out? and
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
know?
fine, all right.
I don't think it's in the statute, I think it's
Just
just
about the 5 years, whatever appropriate time you guys deem if you want it to be.
Yeah.
Remember, in a lot of cases, that's a function of you get your approval. In some cases, the work may not commence for 4 years.
Which is why I just find the other part funny because you could like pick and choose what you wanted to do out of the approval without having to complete the approval to receive the benefit of it.
I think you're going from the mindset of somebody who's trying to slip around the rules.
People are all the time.
Well, how do you,
I think not
I think you
everybody's
guys are
slipping
really
around the rules.
overthinking this whole thing and getting incredibly medicine,
Yeah,
incredibly medicine. To what effect and benefit? None.
No, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, really. I
So
mean,
I,
you know, we're a historic district commission. We're not the frickin', you know, minutia piece. I mean, I hear what you're saying, Eric, but it's kind of like, who cares?
well,
you
so
know?
I would say, especially you guys as businessmen in town, I mean, it's proven that protecting a historic district is better for business. So we just want to look at return on investment. I don't think we want to trash the golden goose, which is historic downtown
Well,
Mystic.
no one's trashing the golden goose, but I think if someone doesn't quite finish something up, you know, it's not trashing the historic district either. I mean, it's just kind of, you know, how detailed do we intend to get going forward in terms of this kind of oversight stuff?
well,
I mean, I think it can get overblown.
I'm just, how would they get the CO? Don't they have to show that they were in compliance with our approval?
yeah, and normally if it's appropriate. Appropriateness is the key about it. Appropriateness is just, you're not getting into all the schematics of every design standard now.
No, but
You're trying to make sure that the general project looks like it complies with the neighborhood.
yeah, and I'm not,
No, it's gotta comply with our approval.
just for conversation, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with what John said. I can see his point. I just want to know, and I agree with you too, so I don't think we should be out there. You didn't put one light up. Ridiculous. I just wonder though, is there like a threshold of like what? Because you have the bank and bridge thing, which you complained about, which.
And a lot, I think that comes down to the HJ determination, which would be the enforcement officer going out and making that call. If he feels he deems it's appropriate or not.
Right, and I'm asking for the purpose of if we have another large application where there's like a lot of remodeling. Do we have, like,
I think the one thing that came out of that conversation is you guys should be a lot more specific when you rate these up.
I agree with that. And I think maybe some of these large projects, we have to break it up. We have to say, okay, we'll approve this part. When that gets done, come back for this.
Right.
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, and I think that would help. I mean, I think if you guys became more specific in what you guys are going through.
But the other thing is the majority of people, I mean, like, when you do your projects and your stuff, when I did mine, like, we just do the whole thing. We don't,
Right.
you know, we don't. Most people don't pick and choose parts of it. I'm just curious, like,
But that's what I'm saying. Most people don't.
right,
You know, a minute ago you were saying they're all doing that. I said they're not all doing that. Most are trying.
No,
to
no,
just
it's
get
just
the
saying
project
all,
done.
it's just how do you stop
Yeah.
those that are?
Right.
And does that put a burden on those that aren't? Unfortunately, maybe that's the answer. I don't know.
That's why at the end of the day, you're trying to determine if the project is appropriate, does it look appropriate? Is it historic? Does it look historic?
yeah, yeah. I don't think,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I don't think I'm gonna like burden work. I just trying to understand how to do things better, so there's not.
And I think that's why stuff like this, you're gonna start seeing a lot more of this coming in. Because it's like we're becoming a lot more stringent with how we're reading this right now. Because you guys been really picking out certain things, and it's like you're picking up on the colors of the roof. That's in there. That's what you guys gotta go and approve it.
We could,
You
that's.
know, so yeah, stuff like that.
I just think we're conscious of that, because I think that prior to this, and I said it, that it seemed like. Or subjective. In my opinion.
And how to, and in reviewing all of those decisions of whatever, however you go back. What material effect did any of it have on historic or property values? And the answer is none. So that's, I'm just saying, there's more, I think you can apply more rules of reasonableness to a lot of this stuff. And, you know, and not go overboard, because unless it's something you really get off on. Because I just don't see the necessity to do it.
Well, Todd, let me kind of this way. So in the past year, how many publications have named Mystic most architecturally beautiful spot? Come visit,
In
right?
spite of
And
all the
hang on,
misdeeds
hang
of the HDC.
Hang on.
Still-
Right, exactly.
Hang on.
That's my point.
No, but hang on. Had we allowed, I won't mention certain projects, but had we allowed projects that looked like Vegas to show up, would we still get that type of?
Well, we didn't.
So my point is, to Eric's point, let's just make sure that, here's why I look at it. Anybody that comes for a project that's never watched any of these, that doesn't know, I should be able to look at the book and with some type of reasonable expectation know how we're gonna vote. And I don't think that's the case up till a certain period of time.
All I'm saying is, I think that you're manufacturing an issue that doesn't exist.
We're not going back and looking at the previous rules.
No, But if you go to propose a project, and you look at planning and zoning, except for like a text amendment or any of that kind of stuff. You should be able to read the planning and zoning regulations and know what you can.
Right.
All I'm trying to say is we should, in the process of rewriting things, look to being able to create a handbook that people can look to and say like, I can't.
Right, I agree.
It's not, I mean, the HCC is not a design standard code, right?
So
It's
it's
about
about preservation,
appropriateness, it's about appropriate.
about preservation according to SHPA,
Yeah, preservation is not the same as that's not design. that's what design-
They are preservationists.
but that's the state and federal code that regulate us too.
Well, to the extent we choose to regulate it on that basis. Not a-
That's why I like our relationship, because
It's
it
not a
it makes
mandate. It's
it,
not a mandate.
it causes
I
us
take
to
it by
work
the side of
together.
the Supreme Court.
I think everyone has the same best interest.
Yeah, I
It's just
agree.
a question of just being maybe a little more careful here, so we don't have situations where that have occurred recently, that's all. Yeah. More, just a little extra photos, a little extra detail.
A little extra detail in our approvals.
That's it.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with Young's driveway as he did it, quite frankly. I wasn't at that.
And I'm gonna say this, I said it before, these buildings have stood for 100 to 300 years, 2 weeks ain't killing anybody. The town is not gonna fall down, the building's not gonna collapse, it's not gonna
You know
change
what's
a whole
going
lot.
on. He's probably got the contractors ready to go. And now he's gonna put them off and they may reschedule somebody else and then he's gonna get pushed back.
I'd just be careful talking about that in general.
I have another very minor issue, but for the minutes. I would find it helpful if they put the names of the parties in the agenda, I'm sorry. In the agenda, there's no names of the parties.
Oh, okay.
Say how did that?
It was in what Todd read in the beginning.
Otherwise, you can. It's just easier to go.
Sure.
We have the agenda.
Yeah, I mean,
No, you got new business.
I think that was new business.
What's this roofing replacement?
With the
No,
pre-app.
it's pre-app, yeah, it should be there.
that's why I was.
Right.
Same question.
Given all the conversation
So
on,
65, no, I already brought that up. I brought that up on the enforcement.
given all the recent conversation on agendas, I'm surprised we didn't put the names on it. I'm sure somebody's gonna have an issue with that.
Is that? Oh, the name's on the agenda?
Well, this.
And with the signs, they should bring it to us so we even before they start printing them out.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not in the budget. I'll pay for 25, just this.
Yeah, he's gonna pick it up. He's gonna point me down.
Consider that my donation to the town of Groton.
Sounds like a bribe.
Is it a bribe?
Yeah, wait a minute. Don't do that.
I am concerned.
Second.
Thanks.
Is this someone's pad here?